Hey, what's going on? I'm Raymond.
And I'm John.
And this is Foulin Out. What's good? What's good? How you doing, John?
I'm doing all right. Had my sister's graduation party yesterday. She graduated from high school.
Wow. Congrats.
I know. It's a shocker. It's amazing that she did what about 90% of people that live in this county do. Graduate from high school. But
90%.
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's fairly high. I mean, it's a very educated county and community.
I've met a lot of dumb people from here.
Oh yeah.
You, one.
Yes.
Me, two.
Yeah. I mean, and there's like a whole bunch of other dumb people and stuff. I mean, but we graduated. We're about to graduate from college.
That's impossible.
I think so. I mean, it's a shame that the education system is this bad.
We slipped through the cracks.
We should blow it all up. Start from scratch. I'm Donald Trump. I know how to do everything as better and bigly as possible.
Where did he go to school? Harvard? No, he went to...
I went to UPenn, you disgraceful
you're right.
Communist.
Oh my God. Donald? Donald?
Yeah, what do you want?
Where did he go? He was just here.
I'm here to see this podcast, and I can do it so much better.
Oh
so
my God.
much better.
It's
But
an
anyway,
honor,
enough.
sir.
Get out of here, Donald.
Oh,
We don't
yeah.
want
Get back into your hole.
Yeah. Get back into your hole that Elon Musk created so you can ship yourself back to the White House.
Yeah, ooh. That's pretty cool.
Whatever. No one's supposed to know, but I don't care.
Get out of here.
Obstruction of justice is not a real crime.
I'm an innocent man.
Alright, well, he's gone.
All right.
But anyway, do we have actual stuff to talk about instead of dumb people, including Donald Trump?
Yeah, we do actually. I don't know if you heard, but the Toronto Raptors, congratulations, round of applause. You made it.
Congratulations.
You're champions.
Yeah.
How does that feel? I don't know. I guess
Why
I'm
are you
asking
asking
you.
me?
I don't know.
Am
I just
supposed
generally.
to be Kyle Lowry or something? You know?
Well, it's more of a hypothetical, you know?
I mean, they must be feeling great. I mean, did you hear they stayed an extra day in Vegas to celebrate?
Oh, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Kawhi's out there, doing the slot machines probably.
Doing the weirdest celebration or whatever.
He seemed like he was having fun. That's good. I'm happy for him. You know, he's kind of been painted as this like weird dude. And he's definitely on the quieter side, but I don't think he's actually as weird as people think he is. And you can kind of see like now that it's all said and done, he did what he came to do. He's having a fun time. He's a fun guy.
As you said, he's a fun guy.
God, that I will say that laugh is pretty heinous. He's got to figure that one out. But you know, besides that, he went out there, scored the fourth most points in a playoff run in the history of the game
Of basketball?
or it was
Or
top 10.
Yeah, it was definitely really high. It's up there with... Oh, yeah, it was up there with LeBron and Kareem.
Yeah.
So, hats off to him.
Yeah.
There was another guy that one of the sports pundits was talking about that he's in a list with. I think Larry Bird. But when you find your name amongst the list of those kind of guys, you know you've made it.
Yeah. First ballot Hall of Famer, Kawhi Leonard. He's going to see, regardless of what happens in this upcoming free agency, which we'll talk about later on in the show, his name will be in the rafters of the Toronto Raptors arena.
And the Spurs.
No, the Spurs will not retire his jersey, I do not think.
Well, maybe not retire his jersey, but he'll definitely get a mention.
Yeah.
Because he led them to a championship.
Yeah, he was a rookie, right? Something, second year player.
Yeah, I think a rookie. Yeah.
One Finals MVP. 2 Finals MVP, one of the few players to do it for 2 teams. I think Wilt did it with the Sixers and the Lakers. LeBron, obviously, with the Heat and the Cavs. And I can't think of any other, so we'll go with that. Number
we're
3.
dumb, as stated previously.
Yeah, you think we do research for this show? What do you think this is?
Yeah, research is for chumps. We talk our feelings.
Yeah.
Hashtag me too.
Oh, okay.
All right, but let's get into some of the 2 games. We're just going to talk about Game 5 from a high level.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into like the fundamental standpoint
Yeah.
from Game 5. We're going to do that for Game 6.
Yeah.
But Game 5, the big storyline there is obviously Kevin Durant rupturing his Achilles, and we've all seen the video of him just blow out his Achilles.
Oh, it's pretty hard to watch.
Oh, yeah. You can just see it spasm and just
Yeah.
snap. And just, that's like the worst injury to come back from what I've heard in basketball.
I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is still trying to get back to where he was, and it's been over a year.
Yeah, and he still doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the dude, Durant came out fired. 3 of 3 from deep. He had 11 points before he went down in the early second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't get to watch it, or I didn't get a chance to watch the entire game because I had to get up early for work the next day.
Loser.
I know. I have the big L on my forehead right here, but I did see him go down in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then in bed, I watched the final seconds of Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
Where Clay and Curry just carried the Warriors back into the lead. They were down, I think, like 7 points or something like late in the fourth quarter. They got a 1-point lead with a few seconds left to go, and the Raptors just sort of botched the last possession of the game good defense from the Warriors.
Yeah. They doubled Kawhi, kicks it out to Van Vliet, and then he gets it to Lowry in the corner, and Green does a good job of sort of, catching up, covering ground pretty quickly.
Good rotation.
Yeah, and he ends up blocking the shot. He blocks the shot on Lowry, which I don't think people noticed at first. People were like, oh my God, he just bricked that horribly. But if you watch the replay, you can see it got blocked. So great defense by the Warriors. But, I mean, you got to think Kawhi should take that shot even while being doubled. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like if he did take it and missed it, then people would be like, why didn't he kick it out to someone else? So it's sort of like you're playing this like game of like what if. But I mean, what do you think?
Well, from what I've heard and from what I've watched, people were blaming Nick Nurse for taking the timeout before the final possession. I don't know how much you can blame him for that. I mean, obviously a better play should have been written up, or it was just very poorly executed. But yeah, you need the ball in your playmaker's hands. He's the superstar. He's the one that's clutch. He's the one that put up, I think, 30 points in that game.
Yeah.
You need to get the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, yes, Kyle Lowry is good, but, I mean, we've seen him in games where he just bricks everything. And I don't trust him to make the final shot.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the statistics, I mean, clearly a small sample size. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities. He's not a guy that takes a final shot a lot, and he doesn't hit it very often. That's not a knock on Kyle Lowry. There's very few guys in this league that you want with the ball in their hands in the final seconds. Not every team has one of them. But Kawhi is one of those guys. And you do everything you can to get him the shot. But at the end of the day, there's a fine line between making sure your best player is taking the final shot and making sure that you're getting a quality look on the final possession. And that just comes down to Kawhi's decision, and he decided he should have kicked it out. And it's hard to say, oh, for sure, like if he had taken that shot, it would have been a better look. Who knows?
Yeah, in the end, who knows? And in the end, it didn't really matter.
Yeah,
because Game 6 happened. And I thought this was probably the best game of the finals from a viewing standpoint.
It was, I mean, probably if you were a Warriors or Raptors fan, you were having a heart attack the entire game because it was back and forth, a game of runs, as basketball tends to be. But a lot of huge moments. Even early in the game, there was times where you could clearly see the momentum shift. Serge Ibaka would get a big dunk, or Clay would hit a tough three-pointer, and you'd be like, oh, now the momentum shifting one way or the other. It was a fun game to watch. A lot of fun.
Especially right from the start, too. I mean, Lowry just goes off with the game's first 8 points and 11 points for the Raptors. Definitely making up for his lack of clutchness in the end of Game 5. But the Warriors were able to hang around. Steph was having a bit of a shaky first half. But Clay was lights out, basically. I mean, he was making tough three after tough three. And they got some good support from their role players, too, which is hard to come by for the Warriors, especially as we've seen in this series. But Boogie was getting some good looks. Draymond Green was getting some good looks. Andre Iguodala was too. So everybody was doing all right in the first quarter, even though the Raptors still finished the quarter, I think, up 1?
Yep. It was 33-32, I believe.
Still anybody's game. And then we go into the second quarter, and this was everybody thinks, and this is what I thought after the second quarter too, that the Warriors were in complete control in the second quarter. But in fact, the Raptors scored 2 more points than them and were up at halftime by 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the Warrior effect, especially with how good they are in third quarters. You don't feel safe even if you have a double-digit lead, and you have to look at the way the teams were playing. I think the Warriors, I mean, both teams were playing pretty well as a back-and-forth game. So it was hard to say like, just because the Raptors were up 3, they were clearly playing the better game. I mean, that's one made basket that, goes one way or the other, and it's a different story. And yeah, I think it's just this like impending feeling of dread whenever you're playing the Warriors that like they're about to go on a run, especially in the third quarter. Yeah. And then you also add on top of that Klay Thompson and his notorious game 6s that he's had in the past against Houston and against OKC. And he was playing very, very well in the first half. You're thinking, oh God, what's going to happen in the second half? Can the Raptors adjust? We saw they really weren't able to.
No, not really.
They just he went down with an injury in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a bit. Yeah. So Klay Thompson, he's out on the fast break. He goes up for a dunk. Danny Green goes for the block. Clearly not a dirty play. I mean,
he almost got the block. I watched it. He did get him on the hand, but wasn't underneath him.
Nope.
Landed completely like a few feet away from him. It was just a bang bang play, as they say. Mm-hmm. Definitely a foul though. They called it right.
Oh yeah, absolutely a foul. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And what I noticed from the replay is that it kind of seemed like Klay was looking backwards to see if the shot went in, which is pretty common. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. And that kind of made him land awkwardly on that leg. And I think that's what caused it. But I think the craziest thing is him coming back out of the tunnel, shooting the free throws. He's running around. I mean, the adrenaline must be insane.
Yeah, it must. Because, like, at the end of the game, he left on crutches.
Yeah.
So he must have been in some serious pain there, or they must have been telling him, like, hey, don't run on this, bum knee now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I mean, they had to do that after the Kevin Durant injury.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just couldn't be like, oh yeah, he could be back for Game 7.
Yeah. We'll just put him out there. We'll do like, how in hockey or in basketball too, like if you break your finger, they like will tape the two fingers together to sort of like act as like a splint. What if they did that with his left leg and they just tied it to his right leg, and so then he has like a splint and he's just like hopping around.
He'd probably still be, an overall plus, better than McKinney or whatever scrubs that they have on their bench.
He's out there like shooting threes, just like he's in like a 3-legged race or whatever, but it's actually just a one leg and it's by himself. Or that actually gave me an idea: tie his left leg to Curry's right leg, and then they sort of hop along together.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and then there would actually be like a 3-legged race.
Yeah, they'd get a lot of assists.
Yeah, they pass it to each other. Yeah. Wow, man, maybe I should coach the Warriors.
Yeah, I think that'd be a terrible idea.
Oh, all right.
But Curry was visibly upset. I mean, he knew it right away.
Oh,
he was slamming the ball on the ground.
He's like, what do I gotta do, man, to keep my teammates healthy?
And he wasn't having that great game.
Yeah.
Either. But they were still in it, and I think they were up at the end of the third quarter by like 3 or 2 or something. They had a lead after the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were up. They were up by 2. But then going into the fourth quarter, you sort of had this feeling just like everything was starting to fall apart. Warriors weren't getting as good of looks. Raptors started going off with Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet had, 12 points in the third quarter, or fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
3 threes, and then another foul on a 3-point shot, which he made all 3 free throws on that, too. That dude is a bad man. I mean, like, he will impose his shooting will. I mean, he's a small guy, but after his son's been born, I think there was a stat line showing that he's averaged 14 points a game and 55% field goal percentage.
Yeah.
That's insane.
His 3-point shooting percentage has skyrocketed recently, which makes sense. I mean, obviously you can meme it up and talk about how it's because his son was being born, but I mean, he's a good shooter. Generally speaking, so that poor stretch at the beginning of the playoffs was bound to balance out with a good stretch, and it came at the perfect time. I mean, they needed production off the bench to beat the Warriors, even with the injuries that the Warriors sustained. You look at this game, only 5 players made a field goal, and only 6 scored. I mean, Marcus Hall got 3 points, but it was all from free throws. So they need guys that can produce on a consistent basis because they don't really have that outside of, Leonard, Siakam, and Lowry. You never know what kind of offensive consistency you're going to get.
Yeah, like Siakam's not the most consistent 3-point shooter. Like, there was a stat line going into this game that he was 0 of 12 from 3.
Mm-hmm.
But he made three threes in Game 6.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry went off in the first quarter, but then he sort of had a quiet night from 3. After that, although he did have 10 assists and finished with a double-double.
Mm-hmm.
And Kawhi Leonard had a surprisingly quiet night, only 22 points.
Yeah.
Got a lot of his points from the line. Seven free throws there for him. But overall, like, it's the team of the Raptors that bring you down. Like, 5 guys in double digits, 4 of them over 20. And it just shows you that the sum of the parts is greater than the parts themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
I mean, yeah.
I'm an idiot. I didn't go to school. Thank you. I'm here Saturdays.
I mean, what you said originally was correct, just generally not how it's phrased.
Thanks, Raymond.
Yeah. Whenever, even without the scoring, having the 5 guys on the court, they all play together. They're all sacrificing for each other. They're all looking to make a play for someone else, and they trust each other. I mean, Danny Green didn't take any shots, and yes, he struggled in these playoffs, but he's a good 3-point shooter. So him giving up those shots to someone else is the ultimate sign of trust to your other teammates, deferring to them, seeing, Kyle Lowry's going off. Siakam, he's having a good night. Get them the ball. He's not an assist guy, but he had 3 assists tonight. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, and he only played 18 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, still, he didn't have that much of an effect, but, I mean, other than killing Klay Thompson, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what he's put in to do. Take him out. Any means necessary.
But, yeah, like, overall, a great team effort from them. And from the Warriors, it's just, I don't think those bench players know what they're supposed to be doing. I mean, Quinn Cook, sort of, but McKinney, Bogut, a lot of these young guys. Looney looked like he didn't know what was going on the court. He was sort of gun shy on shooting. I guess it's also because he's injected with like narcotics to not feel bad from his broken collarbone or whatever.
Yeah, he's playing very injured.
Fractured first rib.
Yeah,
which is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, but they just seemed lost, especially after Klay Thompson went down. Curry only finished with 21 points in a night where he probably needed 30. Iguodala had a great game with 22 points.
Yeah, he stepped up for sure. They needed scoring. They needed him to put up 20 to stay in this game, and he delivered. I mean, Iguodala has always been a guy that shows up in the big moments, generally speaking.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was there.
Exactly. Like bench. He's a bench player generally, but he's a veteran. He's obviously been here before. He's been a Warrior for 5 years now. And he showed that even even now, he can still very much make a difference. Yeah, it's just you look at the start of the fourth. Excuse me, the start of the fourth quarter. They were playing a lineup that had never played together.
Yeah, 5 bench guys.
Yeah, bench players excel when they know their role and they can operate within it comfortably.
It's like any associate at a job, like for accounting,
Nerd
examples. Like people or associates do really well because they don't have a lot of experience, but they do well in areas where they're allowed to grow and learn about it. So like auditing cash or performing like a 1040 about their,
oh my god, nerd.
About standard deductions.
Nerd. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So the cringe there was sort of big, but it applies to basketball too. Just stick with 3-point shooting or just stick with, posting up or setting screens. Get the fundamentals down, and then you become a better player because of that.
Yeah. These guys don't know what they're expected to do on a play-to-play basis. And that's not Steve Kerr's fault. That's not their fault. That's just what it happens to be. There's so many injuries. You need guys to step up. But it's hard. Yeah. Shit happens, and it sucks. But when it does, you got to figure out a way to adjust, and it's really hard to do that with bench guys that, objectively don't have the skill of like starters like Curry, Clay, Durant, these guys that can adapt dynamically and do it on the fly and still, just overcome these obstacles with sheer talent and ability. Bench players don't have that. That's why they play on the bench. They can be good players, but they need to know their role. And in this finals, there just isn't the time to learn that role.
Claim your role.
Yeah. Virginia Tech. Claim your role. Very weird saying. But, it makes sense if you're playing in a basketball team.
Yeah, but nowhere else. But yeah, that's it. Raptors are champions of the NBA. First Canadian champ.
Yep.
But as we all know, the off-season's now begun. Mm-hmm. And we got to know where all these players are going to end up because there's a lot of free agents.
Yep.
So, Raymond, start us off with KD and Clay. Where do you think that these guys are going to go after they're probably going to be out next year?
Yeah, both players are out for the season, I believe. Obviously Clay hasn't been ruled out yet, but if he does come back, it would be in, like late March, something like that. Maybe February. Kevin Durant is an Achilles rupture.
Yeah, that's a year.
He will not play next year. Maybe the playoffs, but I wouldn't rush him back. I don't see a way the Warriors without Clay and Durant really look to make a push for the NBA Finals next year. But you never know. Curry is a fantastic player. But aside from that, Warriors have already come out and said KD and Clay are going to get offered 5-year max contracts, which is going to leave them with very little in terms of what they can do in sort of bolstering that bench or potentially signing Draymond Green next year. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. Obviously keeping those three together, Curry, KD, and Clay, you have a finals contender at the very least, even if you're just signing, players to the minimum to fill out your roster.
Yeah, but you're going to have to sign a whole bunch of players to the minimum and get rid of Iguodala, Livingston, Boogie, maybe even Draymond Green too. Because Iguodala's making 17 mil, Draymond's making 18 mil. Mm-hmm. Warriors already have negative practical cap space of about 26 mil. And if you're going to bump up the contracts of Clay and KD by another 10 mil, you got to find some people to cut.
Yeah, unless you really want to just pay expensive tax. Like, just pay the luxury tax, eat it. The Warriors have the financial capital to do that, I guess, because they've been so successful and they're in a pretty big market. But, it's a tough decision. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets waived, who gets signed. Like you're saying, Iguodala and Livingston probably have to go. Boogie, if he wanted to stay, would have to take another huge pay cut, which would not be financially responsible, considering I think this is going to be one of his last times that he's going to be able to sign a relatively big contract, unless he wants to sign, a short-term deal and have like a prove-it season where he shows he can stay healthy and be impactful. It'll be interesting to see what he decides, and we'll get into that later. And then Clay, he wants to play with the Warriors, right? He has said that throughout his career. So I assume he takes the deal. But let's play devil's advocate.
All right.
Who would be your number one team that you would pick besides the Warriors that Clay could potentially be enticed away from? I don't know.
I would say the Clippers. I mean, they need a shooter.
Yeah.
I don't think they really have a good shooter.
I mean, they got Lou, but he comes off the bench.
Yeah, I wouldn't really trust Lou that much, especially with threes. I mean, Clay is a bona fide three-point shooter thoroughbred.
Yeah.
That guy can take your team from an 8 seed to a 4-3, maybe even a 2 seed.
With the right pieces. He's not a ball handler, so you need to make sure you have a guy like that. But yeah, I agree.
They're going to need probably a point guard too, but that's a good place for a lot of these people to go. People don't want to play in the East; they want to play in the West, unless your name is Brooklyn or New York, or Miami. But Miami has no cap space right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Clippers would be a good spot for him.
Yeah, I agree. Talking about a lot of these free agents, I think Clippers are going to be a big time destination. I genuinely believe. I mean, over the past 5 years, the LA Clippers have been the better team in LA. I mean, that could change next year with the Anthony Davis trade.
Oh yeah.
But which we'll talk about in a moment. But they have a ton of talent. Doc Rivers has done a great job of developing the players they have, but they don't have a superstar. I mean, you could argue they don't even have an all-star. I mean, who is their all-star player?
On the Clippers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Lou
know.
Williams? I mean, he comes off the bench. I mean, he's a great player. He averages 20 points a game.
Beverly?
Not an all-star. I mean, he's a great player, but he's certainly not an all-star. Yeah, like, a superstar could come to that team and completely change what their aspirations are. They go from a team that's scrappy, plays together, and just looking to sort of make some noise in the playoffs, kind of, not really looking to compete for a championship per se, to being a team that's saying, hey, we're here, we're one of the best teams in the West, and we're looking to win a championship.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, and they have the fan base. They got rid of their stupid owner, their racist owner a few years ago.
Yeah.
That marries girls that are 40 years younger than him, which not judging, as long as it's consensual and
just look at you and I.
Yeah, I'm 52.
Yeah, and I'm 13.
Yeah.
Age is just a number.
Age is just a number. Love finds a way.
Oh God.
But anyway, we do need to talk about this AD trade.
Yeah, obviously.
Breaking news. This just
yesterday.
happened.
We were together when it happened yesterday. We were hanging out.
Speaking of love.
Yeah.
But anyway. Oh my God.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
AD signs with the Lakers.
Lakers. Or he traded.
Traded to the Lakers.
Yeah.
And his contract, he's getting a max deal. I think it's like 27 mil. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers give... Who do all the people that they get? 3 first
Lonzo
round
Ball. They gave up Brandon Ingram and Hart. And 3 first-round picks.
Yikes. 3 first-round picks.
That's a lot. That's a big package. No pun intended. And
Stop.
What? But I think, I mean, it's the best offer available for sure. Celtics made it clear they weren't going to give up Tatum, so AD was never going to go to the Celtics.
And the Lakers didn't have to give up Kuzma,
Yeah.
who I thought was the best of the 4 people they were trying to trade.
Yeah, I agree. But they gave up a lot of... They don't have a roster right now.
Oh, no. They only have, 5 guys signed.
Yeah.
They have Luol Deng in, 15 mil in dead cap space.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be really interesting to see how the Lakers front office builds this team around Davis and LeBron. Presumably, they're not going to get Kawhi anymore, I think.
Yeah, they still have a few mil left in cap space. I think a little over 20.
Yeah.
So they can get somebody.
And I think that somebody they're going after right now is Kemba, right?
Yeah.
They need a point guard.
He's only getting paid, 12 mil?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be... Charlotte's going to offer him a max contract, but he could take a pay cut to play for the Lakers to compete for a championship.
Well, it wouldn't be a pay cut. It would still be getting an increase, I would think.
Yeah, but opportunity cost.
Yeah, opportunity cost, definitely.
Because Charlotte will give him the supermax if he wants to stay, and he has said before he loves the Charlotte Hornets. But LeBron, Anthony Davis, L.A. Lakers, the chance for a ring. If he signs a 5-year supermax with Charlotte, he will not play for a championship team in his prime.
That is true. So, I mean, he sort of has a question that he has to face then.
Yeah.
Do I remain loyal to my fan base, or do I go pursue a ring?
Mm-hmm.
And try and win it with LeBron, with the best player in a generation.
If history has told us anything, these kind of players tend to choose, I want to play for a ring. And honestly, I don't blame players for choosing a ring over loyalty all the time. I mean, obviously there's exceptions. I don't like what KD did, but, Kemba has given 8 years to the Charlotte Hornets, and they
Bobcats.
have not, and the Bobcats, and they have not given him a team that's even close to competing for any sort of playoff contention.
Nope, nothing. They've given him Shaq.
Yeah, they signed Nicholas Batum to a $20 million contract. That's what they've done for him. Yeah. I would not blame Kemba for leaving the Charlotte
Frank
Hornets.
Kaminsky.
Yeah, they got Kaminsky. They got Jeremy Lamb. They got Tony
Bacon.
Parker.
Oh yeah, Tony Parker.
Yeah,
who retired.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Bacon. That's a nice name though.
Yeah, Dwayne Bacon is a good name. But yeah, I think there's a lot of upside to going to the Lakers, but you would have to take less money. And so that's going to be down to whatever he thinks.
Yeah, and in the end, I don't know what's going to happen. But, I mean, we also have to mention LeVar Ball stuck his big, greasy head in the stupid media again, spouting off about how Lakers won't win another championship, and said it was the worst decision that the Lakers has ever made, getting rid of their bum assist point guard that can't shoot.
Yeah.
Nothing against Lonzo Ball, personally.
LeVar Ball is a moron, and now New Orleans gets to deal with him. But we got to talk about New Orleans, right? Like what?
Yeah.
Like how? Their team now is
full of scrubs.
Well, they got Ball, Ingram.
Ingram's not a scrub.
Ingram's not a scrub. Lonzo Ball is not a scrub either. He's just not a shooting point guard. They got Drew Holiday, and they're going to potentially get Zion.
Oh yeah, Zion.
I
forgot about the draft.
Not potentially. I mean, unless they're morons, they're going to get Zion.
Yeah, or unless somebody has an aneurysm in the Pelicans front office.
And they have the number 4 pick as well. Now they have the number 1 and the number 4.
Oh.
So they're going to have a young squad.
So do they get Zion and Cam Reddish?
That would be
insane. 2 Duke guys.
Yeah, playing together. They already have the chemistry. Reddish is a shooter. Lonzo Ball. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
So they're not going to get John Morant or RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
John Morant's probably going to go to the Grizzlies, and Barrett's probably going to go to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. But 1 and 4, they have to get Zion.
Yeah, they'll get Zion, and it'll be interesting to see what they do from there. I think Cam Reddish is a good choice. I mean, I think with Reddish, there's a clear ceiling. He's going to be a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of exactly what the mold of the modern NBA role player is, being a 3-point shooter and playing good defense.
Yeah, and we also need to examine like what their needs are. So Drew Holiday, he's a good point guard.
Plus defender.
He's a veteran. He knows. Yeah, he's been around. He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Zion will come in as the 3 or the 4. Which forward position do you think he'll play?
The 4, I believe.
And then Brandon Ingram will probably start as well.
Yeah.
And then if you get Cam Reddish in there as like another forward, you play 3 forwards, 2 guards.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty nice, mix, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Yeah, I'm not sure who they got coming off the bench exactly.
Josh Hart,
Yeah.
And I don't know the rest of the Pelicans lineup.
Yeah,
it's probably not great.
It's not amazing for sure. But let's give it an old peek.
Check. Or the old peek. Yes.
Yeah, the old peek-see.
Going in, examining these guys' roster.
Yeah. All right. Ian Clark.
All right.
Shooting guard. He's okay. He's not bad.
Check Diablo.
Solomon Hill is... I really think he's a pretty good player. Definitely a good bench player. They got Jahlil Okafor. Remember him?
Oh, my God.
I forgot about him. Then they have Julius Randle. Julius Randle is really freaking good. And if he starts at center, that's Zion and Julius Randle. That's a great offensive front court.
Yeah, plus Brandon Ingram, and then Drew Holiday, and then throw whatever guard you want in there.
Yeah, Lonzo.
Etwan Moore is in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like, other than that, it's not really that talented.
I think they'll be a great offensive team. The defense will be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, Lonzo Ball and Drew Holiday is a great defensive backcourt, but their front court is a little suspect.
Zion plays good defense.
He plays good defense in college. I mean, he has insane athleticism, but I am not willing to say he's going to be... he'll be a great rim protector because he can jump. But it'll be interesting to see how he does against the more agile fours in the league.
Like a LeBron or...
Yeah, well, you get bodied by LeBron,
Jason
but
Tatum.
everyone does. Yeah, Jason Tatum. A lot of these guys that, are a little smaller. So we'll see. We'll see how Zion does. That's going to be a team to watch for sure. Very different look without Anthony Davis. But let's move on to our
favorite segment.
Our second to last segment. Who fouled out?
All right, Raymond.
All right.
Give it to me.
I'm going to foul out Danny Green because
he's a champion. Why are you fouling him out?
Here's why. Because he's
somebody's
a champion.
coming out of his hole. Hold on. Hey, Mr. Trump.
Stop.
No,
get out of
my way. Get out of my way.
Oh my God.
This man is insane. He has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Danny Green is a champion. I cannot believe this man.
He's a winner.
Anyway, go on. Let me hear it.
Donald, you gotta get back in your hole, man. You gotta get back in your hole.
I'm not getting back in my gremlin hole just yet.
He crawled out from under a rock. I swear.
Don't talk about Melania like that.
Oh my God. I swear he had scales. I swear.
Mr. Trump, I can take care of this. You sure? I heard you making love with this man. I can take care of him. Don't worry.
Oh my God.
All right, Raymond, proceed.
His eyes were like slits, like snakes.
I mean, he does have very pebbly eyes, but I guess that's what happens when you stare into the sun at Boca Raton all the time playing golf instead of doing your job. I do my job fine.
He should have left. Close the rock behind him.
Oh, moving the stone. It's like Jesus Christ, and he comes out every 3 days.
Yeah.
Resurrected.
If he sees his shadow, he wins the election again. 4 more years. 4 more years of Trump's presidency. All right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Danny Green. Here's why I'm fouling him out.
Right.
Okay. It's not because I think he's bad or anything. I just think he got off easy from the media. People aren't talking about the fact that he nearly threw away the game there at the end. And it's just because Curry missed that desperation shot, he's getting off scot-free. So I gotta keep him in check. hey, Danny, what are you thinking? You run. Oh, he did the right thing at first. He ran up. Kawhi was getting doubled, so he ran up to right about half court to take the pass.
The corner.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You got to make sure there's a passing lane. Put the ball on the floor, man. Or just hold on to it. They're gonna foul you because guess what? If they don't foul you, time runs out and you win anyways. So either put the ball on the floor or hold on to it. Don't make a crazy pass. You already got it across half court. There's no 8-second count or anything, right? It was just a boneheaded play that ended up not costing them, and he got off easy.
Well, there's still a 5-second count if you don't do anything. Just hold the ball.
Is there?
Yeah. It's always been like that.
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah. If you don't make a move, so yeah, put the ball on the floor.
But put the
They'll
ball
foul you.
I completely agree with you. I mean, on that part, but he is still a champion. And
Yeah,
you can't.
I would never take away that he contributed to the team. I'm just saying, I gotta make sure. But what about you? Who do you got fouling out?
I have the Warriors GM Bob Myers for giving that stupid, fake crying speech at the end of Game 5 about how he screwed up Kevin Durant's career. Yeah, he just bad management of injuries, bad management of bringing people back. They should have kept him out. It's their responsibility at the end of the day. So what if Kevin Durant wants to play? You need him for other seasons. Make sure that he is completely healthy.
But here, let me ask you.
Don't make this man come out of his hole again.
No, please, Donald, stay. Let me ask you this: If KD doesn't come back, right? He doesn't play for the remainder of the finals. Wouldn't you agree that the media would tear this man apart? Tear him limb from limb for being a coward, for not wanting to win, for being complacent.
Probably, but I mean, he's going to have to live with that. I mean, at the end of the day, now we need proof of why we don't want people to come back from injuries so fast.
Yeah, I guess now he sort of acts as a martyr for other guys that maybe stay out due to injury. And
I don't know why Boogie didn't stay out longer.
Yeah, Boogie came back after you saw his his whole leg was crumpled up, and I'm like, this man is never gonna play basketball again. And then he's back 4 weeks later. I'm like, what the heck? How is that even possible?
Yeah, and he sucked.
I mean, he was still playing.
It's not as bad of an injury to come back from as a ruptured Achilles, but yeah. Still.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But yeah, now in the future when guys sit out and people are complaining about passion or whatever, you can look to this Kevin Durant injury and say, hey, he put it on the line for his team and he paid for it in the end. And especially in a contract year, I mean, maybe for a guy like Kevin Durant, he's still going to get a max contract regardless of this injury. But for maybe guys that aren't as talented as him, I don't think risking injury is worth potentially costing yourself millions and millions of dollars, especially in an industry where your career is short and it doesn't carry. You will get cast aside at a moment's notice.
Yeah. But, all right, I will agree with that for now. We don't need another scene here.
Okay.
So, moving on to 3 big questions. And,
all right.
You got one for me?
Yeah. So, we've been talking about the Warriors, right?
Yes,
We've been talking about what's going to happen next season. What did their team look like this year? What do they need to change to still be that Warriors dynasty that we've come to know and not necessarily love, but at least maybe appreciate for what they put out on a court on a consistent basis. But what does the Warriors roster look like next year? I mean, you got so many moving parts right now. I mean, what do you think?
I don't think that they retain KD.
Okay,
I
agree.
Looking at the pay or the cap space that they have, I don't think they retain him. But I think they will retain Iguodala and Draymond Green as a result of that, and they're able to sign Clay to a max deal.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, they need some role players. I don't know where they're going to get them, but they need to make something out of these guys that they have, or just trade them away and get a little bit better players. Because the bench players I saw in the finals were trash. And that needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Boogie will stay with them either. I think he'll probably move on. But yeah, it's sort of up in the air, and I don't know. I think they will retain Klay Thompson though.
Yeah.
I don't think that they'll retain KD.
Yeah. I mean, it would be tough. They would be paying a lot in luxury taxes. What about DeMarcus Cousins? Like how do you feel about, like, because Steve Kerr has said, man, like, he's talked about, potentially bringing him back, but it's been with the context of he'd have to take a pay cut.
Well, if they don't sign KD, I think they can offer him a raise, because he's only getting paid, like, what, $6 million right now?
Yeah,
not
he
that
took it
much.
to Emily.
He can definitely get some more money.
Yeah.
I think he'll definitely get around 10. Double digits, something like that, with KD gone.
Yeah.
Will he still sign there? Maybe. I mean, it's sort of like a safe place for him to be.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, like, prove himself anywhere else. But still, up in the air. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these other teams, like, that would potentially give him a max, even with the injury history that he's had in recent years. There's a lot of teams that, sort of are in the doldrums of the NBA.
You would have to be, like, really in the dungeon in order to give him a max, though.
Yeah.
You'd have to be in, like, Washington Wizards land or the Phoenix Suns area.
Yeah. I mean, Washington Wizards can't pay anyone. They have no money.
The Wizards can't pay anybody for the next 5 years.
Yeah. It's pretty pathetic. But yeah. I mean, what about, I think that kind of answers the question.
Yeah,
what the Warriors going to look like.
I think it answers it, and I think I have one for you right now.
All right.
How far do the Pelicans make it in the postseason next year?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I like that. Yeah. I mean, we just looked at their roster.
Assuming that they draft Zion and Cam Reddish.
Okay.
Or the two best players that they can get.
Yeah. I say the West is going to be competitive. It's going to be very competitive, as it's been in the past few years.
And
open. Very open. Warriors, probably not going to be a finals guarantee. The Lakers have now taken over as the favorites to win the NBA Finals. And then you're going to have, what are the Mavs going to look like with Kristaps? There's a lot of changes going on. You got Spurs are still the Spurs. Houston is still going to be a good team. Clippers, depending who they can get in free agency, maybe looking to make a jump.
Nuggets will probably improve as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Nuggets need another all-star before they can talk about finals contention, but I think the team they have right now is very talented and very disciplined. So there's a ton of teams. And then you look at other teams like, Blazers, Jazz, Thunder, maybe even the Kings looking to make a jump. There's just so many good teams in the West, and there's only 8 spots for them. So I see the Pelicans maybe fighting for like a 7 seed or something. I think they're too young right now, and they got too many unproven assets to really look at them as like a high seed. And I don't think they're going to be good defensively. So, I think their upper echelons right now is like a 7 or 8 seed in the West. But I kind of foresee a similar record to this year, where they're 33-49. I think they'll be a fun team to watch. I think they'll put up a lot of points. I just think they'll also give up a lot of points.
Yeah, very, very bad defense I project from them too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, final question.
Oh, Jesus. My final question is, all right, the NBA Finals are over. Now what are we going to do?
Oh my God, this is actually, listeners, this is a very difficult question, but we can give you a preview. So, we will be covering this upcoming NBA draft that will be going on at the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
We will also be going around the free agent deadline, which is July 1st. We'll figure out where Kyrie's going to end up.
Yep.
And where all these big name superstars are going to, land. And we'll also be doing a baseball section. I know, I can't believe it.
We're going to start watching some baseball.
But
yeah.
We'll keep you updated on what's going on with baseball.
Yeah, Edwin Encarnacion just traded to the Yankees, another power hitter, right-handed power hitter.
They need salary cap in baseball.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I can't talk because the Red Sox spend as much as the Yankees now anyway.
Pirates, I think, are like in the bottom 5 in terms of overall cap.
It makes it tough for small market teams to compete. But that's we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah.
That's all we got.
Baseball, NBA offseason, NFL offseason. It's gonna be kind of a quiet summer, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna keep it interesting for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe Donald Trump will crawl out of his rock again at some point.
I mean, I don't want to see that little orange toad ever again.
Oh my God, he's just horrifying. This eldritch being that crawls out of the rocks.
Thankfully, the economy is all right, or else he would be out of office as faster than a shit through a goose.
I don't.
Well, anyway, that's all we got for you guys.
I think we just got to end the podcast there. Sorry about that one.
Have a good summer, guys. We'll see you next weekend.
See you next weekend.